Well, it's the end of the year, so I gotta talk about my best list. Yeah, I'm doing this already. Holy shit. This year really did come and go, didn't it? Well, anyways, yeah, it's time to talk about the movies I loved the most this year before I talk about the movies I hated the most this year. So, yeah, I do have a bit of a change, so remember the previous couple of years that I've been doing this? I've been, putting on a whole shit ton of honorable mentions. I do have a lot, but I'm just kind of narrowing it down to just a select few just to keep it a little tighter. But if you want to see all the movies I love, just look at all the reviews. I'm just going to do like a select few honorable mentions this time, so yeah, just to keep it tighter and just to get to the point quicker. So there we go. Anyways, let's start with the honorable mentions. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, The First Omen, Boy Kills World, Monkey Man, Gladiator 2, Wicked, Twisters, The Fall Guy, Alien Romulus, The Beekeeper, Bad Boys Ride or Die, Smile 2, Saturday Night, and Civil War. I loved all of those movies, and there's a few more I could have mentioned in my honorable mentions, but yeah, time to get on with the best list. The 10 movies that I loved the absolute most this year. So, let's get this list started. Number 10. Kicking off my best of the year is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. It's definitely one of the most recent films on this list, but god damn was it good. It's definitely the best of the bunch. I love this film. I thought it's great for the whole family. It's action-packed, it's hilarious. All of the characters are super likable. I thought Shadow's story was done perfectly. Keanu Reeves was just chef's kiss in the role. I couldn't imagine anyone else voicing Shadow. This movie was tons of fun. It's just under 2 hours of just beautifully done Sonic entertainment. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Number 9. Abigail was fucking awesome. It was great fun from start to finish. It was gory, it was funny, it was exciting. The character of Abigail herself was badass. For a child actress, she nailed this role. And all of the cast of characters that are pretty much victims to this vampire are also great fun to watch. I liked every one of them. I thought this movie was fun, very entertaining. It had some pretty good action sequences in there too. But man, the star of this movie was the awesome practical gore effects on display. Man, those gore effects were fucking fantastic. It's fast-paced and fun and twisty. You'll have a great time with Abigail if you haven't seen it yet. I definitely recommend checking this one out. It is 100% pure fun from start to finish. Number 8. I might get some shit for not having Dune Part 2 higher on the list, but whatever, it's still on the list, so yeah. Dune Part 2 was an exhilarating sci-fi epic, beautifully directed by Denis Villeneuve. All of the performances are outstanding in here. The action sequences were thrilling. The visuals were stunning. This was a gorgeous looking film, and it has better pacing than the first one. So yeah, and the first one was also great. But man, Dune Part 2 was just next level. It was one of the best films of the year, and it was probably the best birthday present I ever got from a movie because it came out on my birthday. So I definitely had a pretty big smile on my face that day because Dune Part 2 was a great film. Did not disappoint on any level. Number 7. When I saw the trailer for Transformers 1, I thought, holy shit, this looks like it's going to be one of the worst films of the year. Boy, was I wrong when I saw it. This is one of the biggest surprises of the year. This movie got everything right. The action sequences were thrilling. The animation was beyond gorgeous. I loved all of the characters. It had an engaging story. Everything in Transformers 1 was done right. It's one of the best films of the year for a reason. This was everything a Transformers fan could want, and it's easily the best Transformers movie ever made. If you hated the live action ones, this movie you're gonna fall in love with right away. No humans either, so that's a bonus. Transformers 1, you're awesome. It is 100% a Transformers movie that has both the touch and the power. Number 6. Inside Out 2 was another major surprise this year. I wasn't expecting anything out of this movie, even though it was on my most anticipated of the year list, but I kind of had a few reservations because Disney hasn't been so hot. But let me tell you, this movie was great. It was emotional, just like the first one. It really hits you in the feels. Great animation, wonderful voice performances, and a touching story. It is everything you could want out of a good Pixar film. This movie is the embodiment of everything that makes Pixar what it is today. I wish more Pixar movies as of recent would show that like this film did, but at least we got Inside Out 2 showing that. It was a wonderful time at the theater. Great for the whole family too, just like Sonic 3 and Transformers 1. Great film. Highly recommend Inside Out 2. Especially if you love the first one. If you haven't seen it, check it out. You will not be disappointed. Number 5. We got another great horror film at number 5, Maxine, the concluding chapter to Ty West's brilliant horror slasher trilogy. This movie was sleazy, it was gory, very well acted. It was great to see Kevin Bacon in a movie again, and this time in a good movie. You got Michelle Monaghan giving a great performance, but easily the standout here was Mia Goth as Maxine Minx. This was a powerhouse performance from her. I really was invested in her, trying to, get into the film, like a real acting career, while also trying to face the demons of her past. And there's some other shit going on that I still will not spoil, but this was a very engaging film, while also being a nice, sleazy, 80s style horror film. I could not get enough of it. Definitely one of the most compelling films I have seen all year. And another film with some great practical gore effects. It's not every day you get to see a movie where a guy who's trying to mug a woman gets his fucking nuts stomped on, so yeah, really great time. Number 4. Furiosa was another big surprise of the year. I knew George Miller would pull it off, but I didn't think Furiosa would be as great as it actually was. This movie had thrilling action, awesome practical effects with the car destruction. There's some decent gore moments here too. Anya Taylor-Joy was great as Furiosa. She's no Charlize Theron, but she definitely got the job done. Chris Hemsworth was the absolute standout here. He played one of the best villain roles I have ever seen. He was fantastic in this movie. Really funny too. It's not all the time when you see a dystopian action movie like this where the villain's actually like darkly humorous but also menacing at the same time. He did a great job. Furiosa was a highly entertaining 2.5 hours. If George Miller decides not to make any more Mad Max movies, I wouldn't be surprised because George Miller's pretty old now. This was a good way to send it off if that was the case. Number 3. Kicking off my top 3 is Terrifier 3. I loved this film. It was everything I wanted out of this film. It was brutal, gory, intense, and funny. This was one of the funniest movies of the year. It works great as both a really effective slasher movie and a dark comedy as well. And it also put me in the Christmas spirit more than any other Christmas movie that came out this year. It was great fun from beginning to end. One of the best 2 hours I've had at the theater. It was easily one of the greatest movie-going experiences I've had all year. I saw it with a great crowd. It was a fun time. Great way to kill 2 hours. These movies just keep getting better and better. Terrifier 2 was great. Terrifier 3 is amazing. That's definitely how I could describe Terrifier 3. It's kind of funny that Terrifier 3 is my number 3. Maybe it's a coincidence, I'm not sure, but loved it. If you're a Terrifier fan, you owe it to yourself to see this one. Number 2. My number 2 is a movie that I was kind of nervous about because the MCU did not have a good year last year. That's why after I saw it, man, I was cheering because it was so fucking good. It satisfied me to no end. Of course, I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. Words cannot describe how fucking awesome Deadpool and Wolverine was. The comedy was great. The action sequences were badass. Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman worked perfectly off each other. That was the best fucking comedic chemistry I have seen in a while. Hugh Jackman, man. Wow. What a performance he gave in this film. He was fantastic. I liked all of the cameos too. I know some people complain about the utter cameo porn that this movie was, but I didn't care because I thought they were all well done. Especially the Human Torch. He was the best one out of all of them. I know, spoiler alert, but whatever. It had to be said because that cameo was great. One of the funniest things I've seen all year. As a Deadpool fan, as a lover of the first 2 films, this movie put a big smile on my face, even long after it was over. Number 1. Nosferatu shows Robert Eggers improving his craft more and more with each film, and Nosferatu is his best film yet. This movie was a fantastic horror film. It delivered every single thing you want out of a horror film. It's got dread, it's got atmosphere, it's extremely well acted, nice and spooky, it's bloody too. Robert Eggers directed the shit out of this movie. There's not a single bad performance here. It's a gorgeous looking movie too. It feels old-fashioned. It has the old-fashioned look. It looks like it was shot on film. Oh, I could go on all day gushing about Nosferatu and how brilliant of a horror film it is. Robert Eggers, keep them coming. You keep getting better with each movie. I didn't think you would get any better after The Northman, but goddamn, you proved me wrong with Nosferatu. What a film. I loved every second of Nosferatu. Deadpool and Wolverine made me happy as a Deadpool fan. Nosferatu made me happy as a horror fan. Another movie that had me a big smile on my face. Thank you for being the best film of the year. So that concludes the best films of 2024. Stick around for the worst list. Oh, it's gonna be good, trust me. Anyways, I hope everybody had a good time at the movies this year. I sure did. Bring on 2025. There's a lot of movies I'm looking forward to in 2025. Goddamn, next year's looking good. Anyways, see you later.